myself Santosh. I do have around 9 years of experience working in IT industry, and currently I'm working as manager in Microsoft. My core experience is towards data science, data engineering, and data analytics project. Currently, I'm managing around 8 projects, and total I have worked with around 80 projects from different domains such as banking, healthcare, insurance, e-commerce, and retail. And I'm a certified trainer taking training for KSR for the last 5 years.
In the last class, we were talking about table. So in this table, I have to store the record now. One of the very bad design is what you're seeing on the screen. Customer name is repeated, customer age is repeated. All this is happening. Now, what I need to do is I need to come up with a better plan. I need to come up with a better design. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to come up with a good design. At any point of time, I don't want duplications of this customers. So I'll just take an entry. And I'll just go here and I'll paste here. So it becomes one entry. I'll take another customer and I'll go here. I'll paste here. I'll take another customer. I'll go and I'll paste here. So totally there are 3 customers in the data set which we have. There are totally 3 data sets we do have. Now here also 3 customers only, Satish, Santosh and Kiran. But why they have repeated multiple times? Because they have purchased multiple times. Well, I need to maintain their record only one time in the table called customer table. Why will I go again and write like this? I will go and write like this? Unnecessary, right? So why I need to do this? Unnecessary. You have a customer is the main information that we do have. You inform them that it's only one entry, unless and until there is a same name person with a different phone number. Yeah, I can consider it, but I will be storing in a table where I'll be storing a single information. Correct? Now, this is one thing I was able to get the first table done. Now, I was also thinking about what we can do with the product. For example, Santosh should have purchased Vivo phone for 14,000, and what happened? I immediately lost the phone. Somewhere I dropped over the phone, and again I purchased the same phone on different date. So I purchased a phone. That phone I purchased on let's say October 12, 2021. It is for 14,000. I purchased this phone. The same phone I purchased again for 14,000, but this time I purchased in 2023. Now, don't you think that now product information is also duplicated? Forget about when did I purchase. That's my wish. But practically, if you see here, this data is also duplicated. Now, like this, each one, if is purchasing Vivo phone, it's not for marketing, but I'm just giving an example. What will happen? So that's where your problems will come. So what I am thinking, hey, why are you mentioned 2 times? Just go and create 1 time. So I thought this is the product name. Okay. Or instead, I can also give something called product ID first. Product ID, product name, and I'll just say MRP. That's a price. So I can say that, let's say that V01 is the ID and the product name is Vivo phone and the MRP is 14,000. Just 1 entry is more than enough. Then I'll say WT3. This I'll say smartwatch. And I'll just give it as a price 299. Well, this is again another table which you can have it for product information. This I can have it for product information. So rather than putting everything into a single table, now I'm thinking about the better solution. One information I'll put it in a product table, one information I'll put it in a customer table. Well, that's what I need for my system. So far, so good. Correct? Now, think about this. In KSR also we have employees. In TCS also we have employees. In HCL also we have employees. Okay. In Amazon also we have customers. In Flipkart also we have customers. In Walmart also we have customers. But what if I create this table in my server now? The next question I will be asking you is, you have created this customer table, but is it going to be a Flipkart? Is it going to be an Amazon, or is it going to be a Walmart? Which data, which customers coming from which client? Now that is where I have a challenge now. That is where I have a challenge now. So what I am going to do now, listen carefully. This is called table 1. This is called table 2. This is called columns. This is called rows. Right? Now this is also called columns. This is also called rows. All set. But what is the main problem here is whether this customer belongs to Amazon or a Flipkart or a Walmart, I don't know. Whether this products belong to Amazon, Flipkart or any other, I don't know. In that case, one thing which I need to identify is I have to create everything into one container, and I will say this container name is Amazon. Anything which you put in this container, I will consider that is related to Amazon, right? If I have another project where I still have all these details, I will create another container where I'll have a table 1, I'll have a table 2, and I will have this as Flipkart. Like this, I can create multiple containers. Now coming back to the technical terminology, a database is what I have implemented now. This is database. This is database. So in one specific database, I am focusing on one single project. In one database, I am focusing on one set of client. One will be Flipkart, one will be Amazon. Now, within this Amazon database, whatever tables which I'm creating, that belongs to that client. Because we know that customer information has to be present both in Flipkart and Amazon. I don't want to mess up and I don't want to mix up. And that is the reason I have categorized one separate container for Amazon and one separate container for Flipkart. Now, end of stories. We are going to implement first thing which has to be created is, remember, a database. Database is like a container. Within the database, I will go and create the tables. So the first step we are going to implement August 2nd for the first time. We are going to create one database and tables. So what you need to do, first you open your MySQL server, open this workbench. And the moment you go with the workbench, it will go and ask you to log in. The password that you have given during the installation, you have to give that. And I'll just give my password and I'll open. And this is what you can see as part of the space where you can write the code. And if you have this is something which will give you the syntax. And for now, you please don't open this. I am your help command going forward. Okay, now let's talk about database. First thing is I need to create a database, right? First thing is I need to create a database. We know that this two tables has to come within one database. So the way we need to define the database is a storage where we do have collection of tables. There can be one table, there can be two tables, there can be even 100 tables. It's a collection of database objects, correct? It's a place where we'll be storing the data. The first thing that I want to create will be database. I will go to this. I will simply write create database and I will give Amazon. That's all is the syntax. Now, this is how I will write a command line. This slash is comment. This is how you can create a database in the server. This is a syntax. Now, I'll ask you one question, okay? Just think this and tell me the answer. You people are going in bike, okay? And you people are going, suddenly you stop in the traffic signal. You are the first person who's standing there, and next to you, there is a traffic police and there is a red signal, and you have 180 seconds there on the traffic signal. You keep thinking about your life also in that 3 minutes. Suddenly, there is one question that arises to your brain. Why is traffic signal red color? Why not it is black? Why not it is magenta? Why not it is brown? Why not it is blue? Why it is only red color? Why it is only red color? Most of you would have think about this. Now, to answer this question, next to you, there is a traffic police. Will you go and ask him why it is red color and why it is not other colors like a blue, brown, black? Are you going to ask him? I'm asking, will you go and ask traffic police why it's red color? Why not blue color or black color? Will you go and dare ask this question to him? Okay, forget about greater wavelength. There are dark colors than red also. Okay, your light green also is a good wavelength color. And if you are like having a black over the white background, that is also good wavelength. Forget about the wavelength. Forget about the very bright color, all that. Question is, will you go and ask him or not? One more thing I'll need to tell. You need not ask them. Even if you ask also, you will not get answer. The reason is the red color is there for stopping. The yellow color is there for getting ready. The green color is for moving, right? And all three colors has been decided already long back. It's a protocol. When I say protocol, it is rules and regulations you need to follow. You can never go and ask him why it's red. You can never go and ask him why it is green. Similarly, to create a database, this is a syntax. Don't come and ask me why it is not creating database. Don't come and ask me why it is not creating database, why it is create. Don't come and ask me instead of create why it is not implement. Don't come and ask me why it is not implement. Well, we are learning a language. When you're learning a language, it is must that we have to follow certain rules and regulations. We have to follow certain syntax. Don't come and ask me why it's create, why not it's creating, why it's implement, why not its implement is working. If you want this answer from me, tomorrow you get the answer from your traffic police near your area saying that why it is red color. The day the traffic police answers this question to you, I will also answer this question why it is not creating. Is the deal okay? Is the deal okay? You need to understand that whatever I'm writing, it is a syntax. You can never change it. It has to be create database name. There is no other way to create a database. This is the only way that you can create it, because this is what is a syntax. Syntax is nothing but protocol. What is protocol? Protocols is nothing but rules and regulations. Just like they have already decided that red color is for stopping the day, this is also like a protocol. This is a syntax for creating database. Okay. Now, what will happen if I create another database Amazon? This time I will give one. I'll go and create it. So we have got the create database Amazon 1, and I did not run this. So to run this, what you need to do is you need to select this complete code, and there is a Spark button which you can see on the screen. Just click that. Automatically you will be able to execute this. And this is a very good sign to see the first code which we have written. We can see there is a green signal. That means this database has created successfully with a green symbol. Now I will go and rerun it now. This time I will get an error. There is a cross mark. Now it says that what is the error? Cannot create a database Amazon because database already exists. Well, please remember that your database names has to be unique. You cannot have a same database name multiple times. In your home, right? Only you can be with your name. No one else will be with the same name. Maybe in other house it can be there. Maybe in the family it could be there. But in your home, it cannot be there. So within the server, you cannot have a name of the database to be duplicated. You can have it like create database 2. You can have create database 3. You can have like this. This will execute. This will execute. So all this will execute. But when you're going and running the same thing again, it will throw error stating that you cannot create a database because database already exists. Now that's a message it has been given. All the errors will be straightforward for you to understand. Now, the first thing which I have done is I was able to create a database. So the database is done. This is one database. In the one database, I have two tables now. This is table 1. This is table 2. Okay. So this is table 2. Now the next thing is database is ready. Database is ready. But is it something like this database is where I will be implementing is a next question. Now, one more thing you need to see is the moment you create all the databases, you should be able to see all the databases here. And still you don't see Amazon 1, 2 or 3. You don't see Amazon 1, 2 or 3. It's because you have to click this refresh button. So there is one refresh button there. The moment you click a refresh button, you should be able to see Amazon 1, Amazon 2, Amazon 3 here. See here, Amazon, Amazon 1, Amazon, all this database has been created. So in my server, there are so many projects which I worked. I have worked for Act, I have worked for Amazon, I have worked for eBay, I have worked for Flipkart, I have worked for KSR Retail, and I work for Walmart, I work for YouTube. So all these are the projects for me. All these are the clients for me. Any table that I want to create for YouTube, I will go to that database and then I will create it. Any table which I want to create for Walmart, I will go inside that database and then I will create it. That is how I need to manage. But first of all, if I simply go and create a table now, this table can be created anywhere. Now, what is the proof that that is being created in this database is a question. So I will see which database is active now. See, all the database is there, right? There are so many database, Act, Amazon, everything. And when you see in your screen, you may not have this many databases because this is the first time that you have installed. I have been using this database. I've been using the server for almost 7 years now. So you will have a lot of databases here, but when you are opening in your system, you may hardly find 2 or 3 which is a sample databases. But when you create Amazon DB, create Flipkart DB, that's the way you are creating the database. So once database is created, I need to see which database is active. So what I'll do, I'll simply write select database and I'll write like this. This is a second syntax that we are learning. Now, if I go and run this, it is actually giving an output saying that the selected database so far is KSR SQL. There is a database called KSR SQL, and that is what is being selected. And how do you know this? You can run the select database, and this is to check which database is active now. Which database is active now? This one. So you can also identify here. If you come here, the one which is in the bold lettered, that is where it is selected. Last night, I was working for KSR. So whoever joins a new students, everything, we do have storing their information in my database, right? New student and which course they have joined, when did they join, what is their email ID, what is their password, everything we are storing. Last night, I was working for KSR SQL, that is we are working for KSR projects, and that is why that database was selected. But today, I am working for a new project, which is going to be Amazon. Now, I need to navigate from KSR SQL to Amazon DB because today I'm going to create some of the tables within Amazon. If I simply go and create a table now, it will directly go and sit in this database because this database is a selected one. This is a select database which is activated, but I don't want this database. I want to use Amazon database. So there is an Amazon database which I created. I want to use the database. Now, this is a very simple, similar to an English. I will go and see use Amazon. So this is where I'm telling the server, please use Amazon DB, Amazon database for creating tables. Now I need to go and run this. Now, if I go and run this, use Amazon DB, it's highlighted with the green color, and you can see that there is also the bold color has changed from KSR SQL to Amazon DB. Now I will go and run select database. You can see that now Amazon is selected. Now you can say that Amazon is selected. Now, whatever I'm going to create, it is going to be created at Amazon database. I may be working for Flipkart. I have worked total of 82 projects in my career. All the 82 projects, do you think I'll maintain in the same database? Definitely no. Each client I will be maintaining separate database. One I'm maintaining for Amazon, one I'm maintaining for Flipkart. I cannot mess it up. I cannot mix it up, right? I need to store their own information into own container. I'm designing one database for them. I'm designing one database for Walmart. I'm designing one database for Flipkart. And that's what we are doing as part of the create statement. And again, I'm saying the code which I'm writing here, create database, Amazon, select database, use Amazon, all this, the one which I've written before the semicolon, you need to understand that this is not English. This is SQL. If I go and tell my database, if I go and tell my server, hey, can you create one database? Do you think it will create like this? This is English. The one which I've written in the line number 3 is English. If I go and write, it will give left and right slap for me. You will ask, hey, am I English? I know English. If I know English, I will be like a trainer like you. Why will I go and work as a database? That's the question the database will ask, because it doesn't understand English. Now I have to reframe it. Rather than asking in this way, I am asking in such a way that, hey, this is how you can create your database. The command which I'm telling the server is create database name is what is SQL. The commands which I'm telling in the language which is called SQL, and that is why the system is able to understand. Okay, now totally we have learned 1, 2, 3. Now let's see what are the tables that is available in Amazon DB. Okay, because anyhow the table is database is created, right? Database is created. Now I need to go and see what are the tables that is available within this database. Now I'll go and see show tables. Very simple syntax. This is the fourth syntax which we are learning. So I'll simply go and say show, and the command. See, this is English. This is for your understanding. Okay, this is something that server will not understand. Server will understand only this one. Anything you write after the hash symbol, it becomes a comment. Okay, so the show tables means it will list all the tables present in the selected database. Now I'll go and run this. Nothing is coming. There is no table in the database. Why?
We have not created any tables.
Itself we have created at 8:35. Amazon database itself we have created it 8:28. 8:28 only you have created this database. Where did I create tables now? So that is why I don't see any tables, which is very much blank. By chance, if I use any other existing database which I have created like months back, imagine that's a eBay. So I will just say eBay DB. So imagine that I'm using some of the database which was already created. Now I will use it. Now if I go and see, I'll write the select statement. I'll see that eBay is selected, making sure that which database is active. Now if I go and show the tables, we do have a lot of tables in the database. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23 tables are there. I was talking about just 2 tables, but in the eBay database, I've already created 22 or 23 tables. When did I create? When I was working for the project, I have created it. Now, the same phone number details I can maintain in my Amazon, the same customer information I can maintain, the same order information I'll be maintaining. What I will do, I have to separate it, I have to segregate it, and that is why I have created a new database. Okay, so far we have used it. So I'll go back to Amazon now, use Amazon, and I will go and run the show tables. Nothing is there. The next step is I have to go and create one table. I have to go and create one table. Now I'll tell you the easiest way to create a table. Okay, now listen carefully. This is a syntax. For the first time, we are going to create one table, creating a table. To create a database, what was the syntax? Create database, database name. Here, create table, table name. I will give customer DB. And usually we follow some naming conventions. Okay, for database, we suffix with DB. DB stands for database. Of course, I did not do here. I should have given Amazon _ DB. That is how I should have given. So we follow some standards. I cannot go and call my name as yes. I have to call my name as Santosh. So there is some standard that we follow, right? So similarly, usually we keep that as a company standards. So any database will be suffixed with TB. Any table you are creating will be suffixed with TB. TB stands for table. DB stands for database. Now I'm going to create one table now. So the way I need to create is create table, table name. You can even give your name. Who cares? Okay, you can even give like this. Who cares? Your wish. But some meaningful name should be there, right? So if I go and give this name, that means it clearly identifies that, okay, this is a table that is storing the information about the customers. That is what everyone else will understand. So that's why I'm creating a table. So I will put one bracket. I will put one closing bracket and I'll put one semicolon. Okay, I'll put one semicolon. Now this can be executed in a single line, but for readability purpose, since you're all seeing in your mobile, if I keep on writing in a one line, it may be complex, right? So I am writing in a each and every row. So this statement from 15 to 16 will be like a one statement, just like this is a one line statement, one line statement, one line statement, one line statement. This also can be written in one line statement, but to make viewable for you, to make it some readability, I am writing in this way. Okay, now table is ready, but what should be there within the table is I need customer name. Okay, I need customer name, I need customer age. Don't think that everything should be in capital. There is a reason that why I'm writing in capital. I will tell you. So this is customer location. Okay, so now the first table is ready, but in the table I need to go with the columns. So I'll copy this, I'll write it here, I'll copy this, I'll write it here, I'll copy this, I'll write it here, I'll copy this, I'll write it here. Right now in this table, the table name is customer customer DB table, which has 4 columns. The name of the columns are customer name, customer age, customer phone number, customer location, and I'm closing the bracket with the semicolon. That means it's end of the statement. As of now, you remember that it's end of the statement. So far so good. Now there will be some people who will act clever. What they will do, in the customer name, they have stored the customer. In the age, what they will do? They will go and say my age is 30, 31. In the phone number, they will go and enter their email address. Some people will be there like this. Some people will be there like this. When I say phone number, at any point of time, you can only enter a number. Who asked you to go and write a character here? Who asked you to go to write a string here, right? I cannot accept this type of blunder mistakes. I will never tolerate. That means as a person who's designing this table has to come up with some restrictions, has to come up with certain restrictions. So what I'm doing in order to avoid this type of issues, what I am going to do is I have to do some restrictions. And the way I'll be putting the restriction will be, I need to tell what is that value you're going to store in the column. What is the type of the value you're going to store in the column. I will simply go and tell your age has to be a integer, int. Int stands for integer. Your phone number also has to be a number. I will go and say integer. The name which I want to go and store, it can be a character. So in normal language, in English language, this is called character, or this is called string, a set of elements, string. But when it comes to a database language, that is a SQL language, it cannot be called as you wish. You have to call it as something called varchar. You have to call it something called varchar. I'll tell you what is this varchar and all. There is a separate class that we are going to have only for this type of things, which is called data types. And this is also something which I'm mentioning as varchar. Okay, so the one which you're seeing here, it will tell you what type of value you can store it in that field, what type of value you can store it in that column. That is what it gives you the information about the column, which is called data types. The one which you're seeing integer, which is in a blue color, the one which you're seeing a varchar, which is in a blue color, this is all called data types. Our objective for today's session is to create the table, not the focus on the data types. There is a separate session on data types. So please have patience. Don't ask any questions on data types as of now. We are focusing on table only. Our first objective, we created the database. The second thing we are going to create is table. We'll focus on the table only. But while creating the table, you need to tell what are the columns that I need to have it. So those columns is nothing but this is the columns. But I need to also tell in this column what type of values I can store. I cannot go and store name in the phone number or a phone number in the name. I need to tell them what type of value I need to store. That is where I am telling this customer name has to be a character. age has to be an integer, phone number has to be an integer, location has to be a character. Well, this is the syntax for creating a table. And those things which you can see as an integer varchar, this is all called data type. What type of data it is? It is telling you the type. So that is why it is called data type. What is this? I have done everything correctly, but still I can see there is some cross mark in the line number 17. What is that I am missing? Now this is where your SQL grammar comes into picture. What is it, grammar? Okay, this is the customer name. This is the varchar. How this column and this column has to be separated for the system to understand, I will put one comma. I'll put one comma. Then what I will do, I will put another comma, and then I'll put another comma here. Okay, now so far so good. So still I'm getting some error. Now only for this character there is something which I need to give. What is that is, I need to give some name for customer, right? See, I can give my name like this. This is my name. There is some other person name. His name can be like this. His name is such a big word. How will I go and call him? So I want to put a restriction to my database. If you are customer in Amazon, you cannot have your name more than 25 characters. You cannot have more than 25 characters. That means today, if I write my name is 8 characters. 4. So in this 25, 8 will be utilized. At any point of time, I can give anything, right? It's my wish. And you know what? Humans are the cleverest people ever. Wantedly, they will do. If this is a human mentality, right? If I say you don't do something, you will do that only first. If I tell you one secret, and if I tell you don't tell that, the first thing you will tell is that secret only. And this is an example with our kids as well. You tell something to your kid not to do, they will do that first. And here also, if I tell that, hey, don't give 25 characters, that means wantedly you will give, right? That is what I'm restricting. I am putting 25 for the varchar. And I'll also put for the location. For the location, it's either a Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai, or Delhi. Maximum, let it be 15 characters. Now we have created a table which we have got without any cross mark, stating that we don't have any syntax error. This is how you need to create a table. How are we going to create a table? Create table with a keyword, which is like a protocol, which you have to mention it before creating the table, because the computer will not understand, the server will not understand. So create table has to be your syntax, and everyone in this world have a name. I have a name, you have a name. Even in your home, your pet has a name, your dog has a name, your cat has a name. Then why there is a separation here? We should also have a table name. The table name which I've given is customer TB. Within the customers, I've opened the bracket, closed the bracket, stating that within that I need to write whatever the columns which I need. And my need is I have to go and get customer name, customer age, customer phone number, and customer location. So I have gone and I've created the 4 columns. Now the next step is I need to tell what is a type of the data which I can store, which is called a data type. So I've given varchar, and the reason why I'm giving 25 is at any point of time it cannot be more than 25 letters. So integer I've given for age and phone number, because my phone number and age I have to enter some numbers only. I've given integer, and sometimes your SQL is also lazy. If you give shortcut also, it will understand. You need not go and give integer. You simply go and give int, it will work. Make sure that whatever you see in the blue colors is called keywords. These keywords are very important for communicating. I don't know whether if you have went with some of the keywords. For example, your kids, whoever is 1 year or 1.5 years, they may not speak completely your mother tongue, but they'll tell some keywords. The people who cannot hear, the people who cannot speak, they'll show some actions. That actions is nothing but keywords. They have certain meaning. Similarly, this varchar, integer, create, table, all these are keywords which has their own meaning. So I've given the data type, and I've also told that it should be 25 characters and it should be 15 characters. Now that is all the table that we have created. Now, with the use of this one, why cannot I create another table? This table. This time it's very easy how to create it. I already have the syntax by seeing there. So I can make it even easier. Create, listen carefully what I'm doing. Create table. This time I have to store product information. So I'll say product TB. and I'll open the bracket and I'll close the bracket. Now inside this, I have to give the column names. So I'll say product ID and I'll say product name and I'll say product MRP. Simple. And now still I'm getting error. The reason I have to tell what type of value. I'll say integer and I'll say varchar. Product name I cannot have more than 20 characters. And I have MRP. Maybe I can give float. Float is 45 rupees 25 paise. 13 rupees 25 paise. Something I can give as float value. Either you can give float or you can give integer. Well, I keep saying this. We have a separate session to discuss data types. Today our objective was to create the table. So 2 tables I have created, but did I go and execute it? No. So I will select this for, I can write it in one line also, but it looks very odd. I can write it like this. I can write it like this. Still it will work. Just like everything was a one-line command, I can write it in one line as well. But for the clarity purpose, I have written in multiple lines. I will simply go and select this 5 lines of code. The end of semicolon states that it's the end of the SQL statement. I will select this. I will go and press this star button. That is a spark button. And automatically you can see that 8:57, the table has been created successfully. And I'll go and run this table again, create table. I will go and enter this spark button and automatically the product information is also created. Now come back to the main command, show tables. If I go and run the show tables and first of all check which database is selected, Amazon database is selected. So far so good. And if I go and show these tables now you can see that the 2 tables which I've created are appearing on the database. So today what we have done, we have we have created the database, we have created the table, and we have created this table, correct? So far, so good. Okay, now I want to see if this table really is created or not. Of course, it is showing here. If I go and run this show tables, it is showing 2 tables. But I want to check whether the data is present or not, and is a columns has created successfully or not. I want to go and see. In order to view a table, so this is a syntax for creating a table, right? This is you can create a table, and this is the same for your product table. Now, the second thing which I want to do is, in order to view the table, this is the syntax. Listen carefully. Select star from customer DB. I'll tell you what is a star in the later part of the class, that is in the upcoming sessions. But for now, this is a syntax that you need to follow. See, whatever I'm teaching, you cannot ask me why. If you want to ask me why, first you ask the traffic police and then you come and ask me, because all these are predefined. 50 years back only they have given this is a syntax. 1970 only they have decided this is what the syntax should be. You can never go and change the English language or a commands, right? Even in your mother tongue, you cannot go and change the words. Whatever words you have, you are getting adjusted to it. The same way, all these are syntax. So don't ask me why it is select star from table name, because that is what is a syntax. Now, if I go and write select star from customer table, I will select this. I will go and click the star spark button, and automatically you can see the table information that is being seen on the screen. Whatever I created, customer name is present, customer age is present, customer phone number is present, customer location is present. Well, this is what I wanted to have. Now, what is happening? The structure is pending. The structure is pending now. This is done. Customer name, customer age, customer phone number, customer location, everything is done. Okay. Now, let me go and see the other table. How do you view the another table? Select star from product table. So I'll simply go and select this and run it. The other table information will be shown. Product ID, product name, product brand, MRP. The data is not there. So this data is also not there. What did we do? We created a database. We created a table. We created a structure. All is well. So far, so good. And how did we create this? This is all the question to you. This is all nothing but coding. This is all coding. We are writing the code, but we are calling it as a SQL commands. Now tell me, is coding tough?
No.
Is SQL tough?
No, sir. No, not at all.
Well, everything at the initially, if you focus, if you say that it's easy, what is there? Just a commands. But I'll tell you what is a challenge. Remembering is a challenge here. I know select star from table name is what to view the table, because I'm doing this for all 9 years. But in your case, you're learning now. So you need to remember to view a table. This is a syntax. You can never go and change, and you can never go and tell, hey dude, can you tell me what is the records present in table? If I go and ask this, it will shout at me. It will slap me. Reason? It's in English. Better, rather than giving the complete line number 30, you give it as line number 27. That's the syntax to read the table. Don't ask me why, because I don't have an answer. I'll tell you upfront, because this is syntax. You have to follow the rules and regulations. There is no escaping from this. And people who are saying SQL is easy, definitely SQL is easy. But what you have seen today is a trailer. Like what you see in the trailer before watching a movie, you watch a trailer. The trailer is actually why it is a 2 minutes trailer, 3 minutes trailer, because a trailer motivates you to see the movie. The complete 2.5 hours of movie, they would have cut shorted, taken a very important scenes, and they would have focused on which scenes to be shown, and they would have shown in the trailer. The reason why they are showing the trailer is they want you to go and see the movie. The same thing, the one which you have learned is to create an interest in your subject. This is what is your trailer of SQL. And there is a lot of things that we will be seeing as part of the SQL. Today, what we have covered is a basics of SQL commands. How many commands which we have learned? We started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Totally 6 things that we have learned today to go and use our database. And all the 6 commands, I'm not communicating in English, I'm communicating SQL. Are we good? Okay. This is about the introduction, and we will stop here. We will continue in the next class.